Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to answer a question from one of my YouTube ad buyers group members. So this is a Q&A video. So let's get right into it and make sure to smash the subscribe button so you can keep watching more videos here. So guys, Jay from Facebook had a really good question, and this question is, I hear a lot of people saying YouTube ads are great, but most of them are selling courses. So evidently it's great for consulting and courses. But what lead generation niches work with YouTube ads apart from consulting/courses? So this is an excellent question, and this is something we get all the time. What niches does YouTube ads work for? So the answer is honestly pretty much any niche, right? YouTube ads can work for most niches. The key here that you have to understand is that there are certain niches YouTube ads doesn't work for, which is very low ticket e-commerce. So when you're selling like $20, $25 products with e-commerce, Facebook is better than that with YouTube. And then also it doesn't work super well for niches like very low priced courses, right? So again, high ticket courses works amazingly well, but if you're selling like a $40 course, YouTube isn't really the best platform for that. Facebook is better. So basically higher ticket courses and e-commerce work super well. And then there are a lot of other lead gen niches that work well. So let's get right into it, right? So the first thing is e-commerce works really well on YouTube ads. However, you do need a higher priced product. The rule we have is you should be able to afford to spend at least $40 on acquiring a customer. And if you can't, then that's a major issue. So with YouTube ads, the traffic cost is a bit higher, but the customers are very high quality and there's a lot of scale. So because of that, lower ticket e-commerce doesn't work, and we really want to aim for like at least a $40, minimum $35 cost per acquisition. And you want to make sure your conversion rates on your store is good, minimum of 2.5 to 3% conversion rate depending on your price point. Now, products that can be demonstrated visually also work really well with YouTube ads. So physical products that have a visual side to them can do really well, especially if they solve a very clear pain point, right? If they solve a real pain in people's life that can be demonstrated through video. What I've noticed with YouTube is that usually it's not as great for selling things that are just, kind of like, hey, I'm bored, I want to buy this. YouTube is really good at selling things that are more along the lines of, hey, I have a real big pain point here. This product can solve this pain point. I'm going to buy it. But I don't think that YouTube is like that amazing for selling like really cool looking, cups, right? So for example, I've seen basically people sell battery chargers, people sell solar panels, people sell flashlights, because all of these products solve major pain points, right? In their videos, they show the product solving some pain. So that's something to keep in mind. Just because people on YouTube, they're about to watch a video, so they don't want to interrupt it for something unless it's something that's really interesting and really helps their life out. Now, another key part with YouTube ads for e-commerce is that creative is key. You need to be able to invest into making video ads. And typically that's why I recommend larger e-commerce stores go for YouTube ads. So, when we work with e-commerce brands, we work with them if they're at least at the 7-figure a year mark. We try to avoid working with people who are at a lower mark. Now, you can obviously still do YouTube ads at the lower revenue mark, but you just need to understand that, hey, yeah, you're gonna have to invest some money into creative. I'd have at least a budget of a few $1,000s to make video ads. And if you can't afford that, then it may make sense to scale on Facebook, then come to YouTube and you really want to scale up. Because YouTube is the scale platform, right? The e-commerce brands that do well on YouTube, they become huge, like Dollar Shave Club, Poopery, etc. They've became huge brands thanks to YouTube ads. However, with these e-commerce brands, they did have to invest into creative. So that's important to keep in mind. Now let's talk about lead generation, right? And I'm talking about like lead generation for mortgage, insurance, solar, finance, health insurance, legal, etc., right? Basically, with these niches, YouTube ads can work well, especially in local markets, because people aren't really using YouTube ads for them. And we've actually had multiple students of ours do really well with local lead generation. I actually have an interview with Marius Dupris, who did super well with local YouTube ads. I'll make sure to have a link below or an end card somewhere up there so you can go watch that video on how he did well with local lead gen. So local lead gen can work super well, or even national lead gen, right? Like if you're a health insurance company, then running YouTube ads can work quite well. Now, obviously creative is important. What we've seen is trying different types of spokespeople can work well as ads, right? You basically want somebody in front of the camera that the audience can relate to. Super, very important thing to keep in mind if you're running local ads is that you do need a decent population center. If you are targeting a 10,000 person town, it's going to be hard for the algorithm to be able to optimize for conversions. Good for branding, but for optimizing for conversions, you will want to go for a population center that's at least a couple 100,000 people, maybe 300,000 people. Now, another niche that works really well with YouTube ads is high ticket services. So I'm talking about done for you offers or high ticket agency offers. So for example, I've seen people use YouTube ads to generate leads for their legal agencies. I've seen people use YouTube ads to generate leads for their high ticket done for you service where they build a business for you and they charge you like $25,000. That's a niche where YouTube ads can work super well. The main thing here is you want to make sure profit margins are high enough if you're running an agency to be able to afford the acquisition cost, because you're probably going to pay like, I don't know, $200, $150, $200 per call booked to get somebody on the phone. And so you need to make sure you have a closing rate and a acquisition cost that works for your business. So if you're running a really low margin agency, it will be tough to make YouTube ads work for that. So yeah, guys, another niche that I don't think has been mentioned is group coaching programs. So obviously mentioned courses and consulting, but high ticket group coaching programs also do really well with YouTube ads, and we've sold a lot of those. So there'll be a link at the end screen up there, etc. So thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe and go watch that e-commerce video. Cheers.